Todd Hollinshead. I'm the business manager at Nerve Software. We're excited to be here with our game Burnstar, which is an action puzzle game where you are trying to save your home planet from the evil goo that the notorious Toxo is spread across your home island, and you do that with bombs, with rockets, with triggering puzzle elements. So it's a really bright and fun game to play that sort of combines the elements of sort of twitch controls with really kind of brain-busting puzzles. And it's coming out for the Switch on June 29th, so we're really happy to talk about it now.
Very cool. And I had a little chance to play some of the co-op multiplayer. Can you talk a little bit about what kind of experiences you have planned for that and the different characters that you're offering?
Yeah, sure. So Burnstar has 80 different levels, and there are 4 characters, and each of the characters have different abilities. So Burnstar he has an ability to accelerate, go his fast sprint, so that helps you avoid obstacles. Ember, she has a shield that also sort of protects you from environmental hazards, but then draws in sort of the objective of the game, which probably should have said first is that Burnstar, the high concept is very simple. Burn stuff, collect stars, which I like to burn stuff, and who doesn't like to collect stars, right? And then we have Toxo, who's sort of the enemy guy, but you can also play as a Toxo character. He has the ability to clone himself and then teleport. And then we have Cold Snap, who can freeze obstacles in the level. And so you can play both single player and then sort of couch co-op on the Nintendo Switch. And each player gets one of the characters, and then you cooperate to complete the levels.
So you mentioned Nintendo Switch. Is this game releasing exclusively on Switch?
Exclusively on Switch for now. We haven't decided we're going to be Switch exclusive forever, but the type of game that Burnstar is sort of a perfect marriage for what the Switch console is. So as you can play it by yourself, on the Switch itself. You can put it up on the TV and play couch co-op. We love the sort of pulling off the shoulder controllers, and hey, here's for anyone to sit down and play with me. And those are kind of the experiences that were sort of, in the game promise of sort of the development of Burnstar that we're really able as a game developer to sort of put on a Nintendo platform that will really feel like the audience and the types of games that are on the Switch and the type of game that Burnstar is just a perfect fit.
And from a tech standpoint, you're running on Unity, right? How has it been working with the Nintendo Switch hardware, and at what point last year or in the last few years, when you saw the Switch, did you decide as a studio that this would be a place to bring your own IP to?
Oh, cool. So Burnstar was originally developed in a proprietary internal engine. So when we got Unity, that was essentially a sort of basically a remastering of the entire game. So we ported all the stuff over to the technology, and Unity has been a great sort of technology platform for us to work on, because we get all the stuff that we had from our internal engine, plus it's sort of there's some Switch magic that goes on in the some programmer land of code that I don't necessarily delve into, that makes it really appealing for the engineers to work on. Then that also has allowed us to sort of make plus on everything. So we've been able to put new art in, new animation, new sounds, and all of that just has sort of worked in Unity like you would hope that when you're doing something. It's like, oh, I don't really have a lot of frustration factor. I can essentially just code it the way I want it and tell the artist, hey, we've got an ability to make stuff look better, and everybody likes that sort of aspect, the promise of working on a development environment where you can just sort of make everything more awesome than what it was before, without really any sort of sacrifice that you have to put off. So that has been great. Back in my old career at id, we didn't necessarily have the best relationship with Nintendo, so it's really been refreshing working with Nintendo on the Switch. I think that they have a much more developer-friendly environment, especially for independent developers with the Switch and the eStore, which Burnstar is going to be on. Then we don't have to, put up lots of capital to build inventory and those sorts of things that are really barriers to getting games published from independent game developers. That Switch and all these sort of, like as I said, the whole development environment sort of works together for a game like Burnstar and for Nerve.
Awesome. And so The game comes out this month, right?
Yeah, later this month.
You announced a price on it?
We have not announced the price. I think that announcement is going to be coming. I'll leave that up to, the game is published by Gearbox, so I'm going to let them do those sorts of announcements on that. But we have it. We're going to price it in the sweet spot of the Switch game, so it's not a $60 game. This is more at a, sort of price point Switch experience.
Okay, so one last question just about Burnstar. What were some of the games that, I think people look at it and say Bomberman, but what were some other games from a puzzle perspective that informed the design decision?
I mean, honestly, on the puzzle elements from Burnstar, a lot of that is inspired by like actually playing board games at the office. Nerve is a company that really is comprised of a lot of sort of artisanal developers that really sort of like the craft of developing all these different aspects of video games, art, programming, animation, etc. And game fans and game players. And so sort of liking these more brain-busting puzzles sort of comes from like, oh, we've got this really sort of challenging thing that we've got to figure out, and bringing that to kind of this sort of the Twitch feel of, hey, I've also got to run around and avoid all the environmental hazards, and kind of bringing those two things together in a game I think that from an appearance standpoint is a little bit deceptively simple, in that ultimately at the later levels of the game it becomes very complex in terms of how you have to do things to solve the puzzle, especially to get the ultimate objective is to get 100% of the stars, burn up 100% of the bad stuff, and then complete within the time. So gold starring the level is not required, but is kind of this, hey, I really want to get, if you're a completionist, you really want to get that 100% with the gold star. Do it for Shacknews!
Oh yeah.